Thank you for joining me. On exercise 3b, I'm going to be looking at question 1f. This says to solve the following equations by completing the square, give your answers in exact form. So leave the answers with square root signs if we have to. Do not change it to decimals. Decimals is okay if it's exact, like it's rational. But by completing the square means we're going to be using the idea that a plus b squared is a square, and that expands to be a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. We're going to use this by getting the form of a squared plus 2ab plus b squared and replacing it with the square, which is the algebra of this question. So let's write down what we've got. We've got 5x squared minus 10x plus 2 equals 0. I like to divide everything by this a value. So we've got a 5 in front of x squared. So if we divide everything by 5, we end up with just x squared, which is ideal. So we've got just x squared. Now that becomes 2x. That stays as 2/5. Okay. Now, what I'll do is I'll take this plus 2/5 and I'll put it over on the other side as being a negative 2/5. So we take that plus 2/5 away. And here I'm going to add half of that number here, I'll call it b, on both sides. So by adding half of that value squared, we complete the square because 2b represents negative 2. So we add half that just to get our b value. So we add half of negative 2 squared. We add half of negative 2 squared. Now I didn't change it into negative 1, but you can see that's a negative 1 squared. So now we replace this with, we've got it in this form, we replace it with x is x squared, 2ab is like 2 times 1 times x, and that's plus 1 squared. It's a negative 1 actually. It's important. And there it is. Now on the right hand side we've got negative 2/5 plus 1 squared is 1. Or negative 1 squared is still 1. And by the way, just working that out, negative 2/5 plus 5/5, that's 3/5. So we take the square across to be plus and minus the square root. So we're left with x plus negative 1, and we've got plus and minus square root of 3/5. And finally we take that negative 1 across to be 1 plus and minus 3/5, and that's finished. I hope this has helped. Until next time, stay happy.